numbers, obviously. But you do that, and then you kind of have it figured out for the most part. And we none of us have it completely figured out. We're still, even now, I'm still sometimes I'm like, maybe this other path, like so. But yeah, audit was great. I saw so much. I did a little bit of public tax, but it wasn't for me. Some people they love it and they can't imagine going into the financial side of things. So in tax you could be an individual tax expert. You could be a corporate tax expert. You could be a state tax expert. There's so many different avenues to take in tax as well. But yeah, audit, you're dealing with CFOs, CEOs, you're dealing with like C-suite executives all the time. You're learning a lot. You're getting to know these people. Networking wise, it's amazing too. And then once you start to work your way up, once you become a senior in public accounting, then you start to become more niche. What's the word? Niched. You start to become more specialized in your industries that you do. So you may get a handful of clients that you senior, right? So you may be known as like the nonprofit guy. You may be known as the government guy or girl. You may be known as like the manufacturing person. You may be known as like the financial services audit person. So it's an amazing first step to take out of school. So yeah, that's what I did. I realized early on that government accounting wasn't for me. Tax wasn't for me. Nonprofit wasn't really for me either. It was better than government though. Government accounting is a whole other accounting. Like you're pretty much relearning it. It's budget based, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, it's great. It's been great. I realized early on that I wanted to be in the industry side. I wanted to have more ownership on what I'm doing, and being able to change processes and actually improve from the inside. Whereas in public accounting, you're kind of going in and you're auditing, and when you're auditing, you're essentially making sure their financial statements are materially correct, not materially misstated. So you're giving an opinion on that, and because of that, you don't really have any ownership. You go in, you do your testing, and at the end of it, you determine everything's good. If anything wasn't good, if it was material, and you give your opinion. And that gets put on their financial statements, and then shareholders and debt, lenders, they all whoever they needed the audit for, usually they get this opinion from you. So yeah, it's and then you go into industry, and so yeah, I knew I wanted to go into industry, and I wanted to be part of improving processes and being the day-to-day accounting, right? I wanted to have more ownership. I wanted to see, and so the first company I went to was a small. It wasn't a small home builder. The first company I went to was a home builder. It was accounting, but it was very like operational. Like they're telling me, I need to put pressure on the salespeople to close more homes. Like that's not what I went to school for, and I'm not interested in that either. Yeah, so I was there. I had a short stint there. When I was leaving public, I was in public for 5 years, so I was like, the next place I went to, I was gonna stay there for a while, but at the same time, I had to realize like, okay, this place is not for me. You can't just go into a position and just suck it up. If it's bad, you gotta move, right? Sometimes you make a bad decision. Sometimes you don't follow your gut, and you end up in a bad place. So the next place I went to, which is my current role, it's a software company, and it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger, but at the same time, it's not big, right? But there's just so much complexity, and there's so many nuances that are on a daily basis never the same. It's always different. Whereas the home builder is kind of like the same thing every month. It was that was kind of mind bending, which sometimes that's what you go into. If you go into like a senior accounting role, you're probably gonna do a lot of that. But if you go into industry, you have, and then that's where it gets exciting. You can go in any industry. You could be you can go to the software company, you can go to manufacturing company, you can go to so many, and you can do cost accounting and managerial accounting, or you could do internal audit for industry company. So essentially, industry is like all any company that's you're working for the company versus you're auditing the company, or you're working for the company versus you're working for a firm that audits those companies. You know what I mean? So yeah, you see a lot of things, the ability to make changes and improvements that stay there, and you see it. You see the fruits of those labors. But yeah, you can. So yeah, you can see. It's just so vast. There's so much you can do with it. You can be an internal auditor where you're testing controls, making sure that like the processes in the company are functioning, and or you can be like an financial reporting accountant, or you can be a tax accountant in industry. There's just so many possibilities. For me, I realized financial accounting was what I enjoyed the most. I like the logic of accounting. I love being able to dive into something. It's like a puzzle, and I'm able to solve it. I get lost in these problems, these daily problems. Sometimes it's a process improvement. Maybe like, oh, this process is taking like 5 days. Like this is crazy. And you think of a way to kind of speed it up, make it more efficient. And then the next month you do it, and it's like, wow, that only took me a couple hours. What used to take me like 5 days. So it's very rewarding in that aspect, But yeah, it's not, some companies you go to, it's going to be the same thing every day. Other companies like the one that I am at currently, it's a different thing every day, and it's very exciting, rewarding. At times it can be overwhelming, but it's like the experience. If you get that kind of experience, you're just setting yourself up. You're just separating yourself from the pack, Like you're beefing up your resume to the point, like my goal when I started was like I wanted to be in the hardest situations because I wanted to learn as much as I could, because one day I want to be a CFO or a CEO. So I want to be prepared for that, right? So because of that, I need to see all the complicated situations, and I need to prove to myself that I can overcome, these problems that we face and find solutions for it. And once you start seeing the big picture, then that's when you start making improvements, obviously, because when you see the point of something, then you can. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting, but yeah. So there's just so many. You have tax, you have audit, you have industry, and all three of those it's like a tree branches off all of them, like a spider web off all of them. There's just so many different paths you can take. Nuanced companies, private companies within tax, it's we'll save that for another video. For now, I just kind of wanted to make this video to kind of give people an idea of like the various potential career paths that you can take, and to not be discouraged by like the mainstream narrative that accounting is boring, and that you can only do taxes if you're an accountant or a CPA, and like no, you can do so much. It's just it doesn't get advertised as much because those people are essentially behind the curtain. They're working kind of like that. Yeah. So yeah. That's kind of my story. That's the path that I took. Assistant controller for a home builder. Realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. It was more of an operational role than an accounting role. You're running the home building business in that aspect, and so you're responsible for trying to get houses closed quicker, and it's just, I realized that there's a difference, right? Usually you think you go into industry and you're assuming that you're going to be dealing with numbers, and a lot of it was numbers, but a lot of it was numbers in regards to operations and trying to just increase sales. So yeah, that wasn't for me, and then that's how I ended up where I'm at right now. Software company, financial reporting manager. and I couldn't be happier. Like I genuinely really enjoy my current role, and the challenges that I face, and there's so many potential career paths that I could still take even from this point. But yeah, this kind of I wanted to make this this kind of intro video to kind of give you an understanding of the potential paths. Like I can definitely dive deeper into some of these. If you guys have any specific questions, being a financial reporting manager in a software company, if there's anything specific to that you're curious about, or if you want me to make a video about some topic that interests you, anything really, I can do that. So just feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the comment section. All right, talk to you guys soon. Peace.